Hey, what's up? Good to see you for another video here on this channel. If you follow me on Instagram, you maybe noticed that we are making our first short documentary. And in this video I want to talk a little about it and what went into the production, what was our workflow, what went good, what went wrong, and yeah, give you a little bit insight on how we shot it. If you haven't seen the documentary yet, please give it a watch. It's about a young German mountain biker who is getting into the sport after an injury. And yeah, we followed along that process and replicated some thing very interesting, and it would mean the world to me. Thank you. So now this is out of the way, we can finally start with the first step, the pre-production. Okay, let's talk a bit how we came up with the idea and how we actually planned this, because that was a pretty big task for us. Our company, where we study, wanted to challenge us to make a little cinematic short movie, and so we came up with the idea to shoot a documentary about a classmate who was riding professional mountain bike for some years, and yeah, so this was our main idea, and we needed to develop our story around that. This was actually a pretty difficult task. At first we started out to gather all informations into Millernote. Millernote helped us really good there. It held all the information about the shooting days, the dates we need to finish, the steps of the progress, and to get all the things right before we shoot. As we progressed, we laid out 3 storyboards from 3 different people and combined them to one that fits the complete story. The problem we are having to solve then was we had the main story set, but the problem was we don't have an actual problem in our story that is getting solved. So we're getting back and forward to searching a problem that we can highlight in this film. And this was actually an injury, which is pretty typical in the sport. But he broke both his 2 hands, and yeah, he was struggling to getting back into the sport. So we formed the story around that, and yeah, getting this our main problem. So the best thing is to getting your story and actually solving a problem, or the protagonist solves the problem in the story. Which is really the key of every story. And if you don't have a problem, your story will probably suck. So now we had our main problem set. We now developed some shots around that the introduction, the little morning scene that we shot, and also the progress with the training, and also the friendship that comes along with that, with all the supporters he had, all his friends he had. And it was also pretty interesting seeing that and also connecting with them and the relationship. This was absolutely phenomenal to see how he handles that. Further on, we set our dates to shoot. It was 3 shooting days and 1 scouting day. And yeah, we laid out the days separately in Millernote, put all the information there, what we need for the day. This could be the time we started, the time we're getting back, lunches, how many time we have for the different locations, how we manage the locations, the location, also what we need on equipment, and yeah, all the things that goes into that. Now, after we finished the story, the planning of the days, and the equipment we need, we move on to the production. On the first of the 4 days, we decided to do the location scouting. It was pretty necessary for us to get to know the locations a little bit better, and to also plan out some shots that we're getting in the next few days. But it also got us a huge problem because realizing that some locations didn't work out as we planned, because some of the bike trails were not even rideable at all, and the garage was too small to put an interview there. So we struggled the whole day to plan out the new locations and to get there, and also plan out new shots that would fit our film. The lesson on that was to plan out your location scouting early on, so you also can develop a story around your locations, and you know the locations and what's possible and what's not, and don't get into trouble when you are shooting, as we did. Let's move on to day one. Day one went pretty smoothly. We shot the morning scenes of the film and all the things at Kenny's house, and also the interview with Kenny. This is also a pretty good fact, to shoot the interview at the first day, so you also can get some reference shots the days later on and what he's talking about. But we also ran into some time issues and also overcomplicated some shots that normally didn't need to overcomplicate. So we ran a little bit late on the first half of the day, but the interview went pretty incredible. Now we finished with day one. Let's move on to day two. At day two, we wanted to shoot our outdoor scenes, and the day was really not optimal for this. It was raining, it was snowing, it was so unreliable these days. At one time it was sunny, the other day it's raining, as I mentioned. So we struggled to get the shots we wanted because of the lack of time, and we have to wait that the rain was getting less. And also Kenny couldn't drive that fast because the trail was too slippery for him. We often had to wait till the rain has stopped, and this delayed our shoot extremely. It was also not fun for Kenny to ride it. So at the end of the day, we didn't have enough footage of Kenny riding his bike. Day 3 went really smoothly again, and we had our first scenes at the gym, and did also a simple lighting setup there, and we worked with the natural lighting on there mostly. I think one scene we had like the big softbox in front and the red background, and on the other half we shot the second interview with Jens, one of Kenny's sponsors, on his journey, and this was day 3. So now we had all the scenes finished and production was over. We moved on to the post-production. The best thing you can do is to sort your footage at first, and we sorted it in our shooting days and the different cameras we shot it. And so a little tip on that, you can go into your camera settings and program the file names to whatever you want, so you can sort them easily later on and don't have a mess in your folder and all your footage is laying around all over the place, which gets really complicated later on. After this, we imported all the different interview footage and developed our story, and this was so hard to do because we had interview footage of like 1 hour, and you narrow it down to like 3 minutes with the main key facts of every person, and it was pretty complicated to set a story and to narrow it down so it makes sense and that you can produce a story and that the person who was watching it follow along, but don't have too much information, so this gets distracting in any way. So this was pretty hard to do. Finally, after we had our main story set, we added our B-roll to it, all the things they said in the interview. We further on add the different scenes we shot at. We put some sound effects here and there to really immerse it, to really give it a little spice and really a soul of the film. And also music makes a huge difference on different scenes, so make sure you put the right music on it. So this is how we shot our first little short documentary. Overall, it was a really big learning process, as it is for all the things you do at the first time. It is so different to work with like a team and don't work alone or with two people, but it was a fun project. Every person put something special into it. And if you're interested in the people that were working on this project, please check the comment section of the actual film. So everybody is listed down below with the role they had. I really appreciate it that you made it so far in this video. If you enjoyed this video or found this video helpful, please let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion about the process. And also, if you have any questions, go down there, put them there, I'll answer every one of them. And subscribe to get notified when new videos come up. And yeah, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.